Airports feel straightforward, but a lot of what happens there is designed to push you into spending more, wasting time, or making rushed decisions you'll regret later. In this video, we're breaking down 20 airport secrets most passengers never hear about. Simple, practical moves to avoid the most common scams, hidden fees, and money traps, and to travel smarter without the stress. Number 1. Curbside surcharge. If you've ever stepped outside an airport and felt like every ride option instantly got more expensive, you're not imagining it. A lot of airports have special pickup fees, airport access surcharges, or mandatory staging rules for taxis and rideshares. The sneaky part is that the price jump doesn't feel like a separate charge. It just shows up as a higher total, so people shrug and pay it because they're tired, jet-lagged, or just trying to get to a hotel. Here's the avoid this scam move. Don't treat the curb as your only option. Many airports have free interterminal shuttles, rental car center shuttles, or hotel shuttles that anyone can ride, even if you're not renting or staying there, as long as you're being respectful and following posted rules. You take a quick shuttle ride, walk a minute, and call your rideshare from a regular street where the pickup fee may be lower. Another simple fix is choosing public transit for just one stop. Even if you don't want to ride the train all the way, hopping to the first station outside the airport zone can change the price a lot. If you do need a taxi, don't let anyone assign you a cab unless they're an official dispatcher at the real taxi stand. Airports attract unofficial drivers who look confident, grab your bag, and start negotiating fast. The safe rule is boring but effective. Official stand, official signage, meter on, and if something feels pushy, step back and reset. Also, screenshot your ride details before you move: license plate, driver name, and the pickup pin. Because if anything goes wrong, that's what support teams ask for first. And one more thing. If your app offers a priority pickup upgrade when it's crowded, pause and do the math. Sometimes that upgrade costs more than simply waiting 5 extra minutes, and your future self will not thank you for paying a fatigue tax. Number 2. Arrivals versus departures switch. Most people treat the arrivals lane and departures lane like they're sacred, like you'll get arrested if you pull up on the wrong level. In reality, the split is often more about traffic flow than strict passenger rules. The practical secret: at certain times of day, one level is a parking lot and the other is weirdly calm. Early mornings usually mean departures is slammed and arrivals is quiet. Late evenings can flip depending on the airport. If your airport allows it and you're not blocking traffic, getting dropped off on the quiet level can save you a ridiculous amount of time and stress. Same idea for pickups. If arrivals is chaos and your ride keeps looping because they can't stop, departures might be calmer and easier to find. The important part is staying inside the lines. Some airports enforce this more than others, so you follow signage, don't idle where you shouldn't, and don't argue with staff. Think of it like taking a side street instead of the main road, not like breaking rules. The reason this works is simple. Airports are built like stacked highways. If everyone funnels into one level at the same time, it becomes a slow-moving mess. You're not being sneaky, you're just using the second highway. If you're meeting someone who doesn't travel much, explain it in plain language. Go upstairs, same door numbers. We'll meet near the big column sign. That column sign detail matters because people get disoriented fast in those pickup zones. And if you're the one being picked up, don't stand exactly at the exit doors where 200 people are standing. Walk 30 seconds in either direction, pick a clear landmark, and you'll spot each other faster. The smallest move that makes a big difference is being specific with your location. Not, I'm outside, but door 5, next to the red coffee sign under the departures level. Airports are loud, people mishear, and that extra detail prevents the classic looping pickup nightmare. Number 3. Currency exchange trap. The money scam that quietly eats travelers alive is not the obvious one where someone tries to sell you fake bills. It's the legit exchange counter with the worst possible rate, plus extra fees, plus confusing language that makes you think you're getting a deal. Airport exchange booths know their customer is stressed, possibly doesn't have data service yet, and just wants local cash. So they give you a rate that's convenient, not fair. The smarter move is usually this. Use an ATM inside the terminal from a real bank network when you arrive, and take out a reasonable amount for small stuff like transit and tips. If you can pay by card, pay by card. But here's the twist most people miss. When the payment terminal asks, pay in your home currency or local currency, always slow down. That screen is where the money disappears. Picking your home currency often triggers something called dynamic currency conversion, which sounds helpful, like it's doing you a favor. In practice, it often bakes in a bad exchange rate and extra markup. Choosing local currency usually lets your bank do the conversion at a better rate. The same warning applies online when you're booking airport transfers or hotels. If a website helpfully shows your total in your home currency and offers to lock it in, that lock-in can come at a premium. Another sneaky one, exchange counters advertising 0% commission. People see that and think it means no extra cost. The counter can still make money by giving you a terrible rate, so the trick isn't hunting for no commission, it's comparing the final amount you'll receive. If you have time, check a mid-market rate on a trusted finance app and compare it to what the booth is offering. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to spot when the offer is wildly off. And if you really want to stay calm, do one thing before you fly. Bring a small amount of the destination currency from your bank or a reputable exchange in your city. Not a lot, just enough for the first train ticket or snack. That way you're not making money decisions while your brain is still in airport mode. Number 4, fake Wi-Fi and sketchy networks. Airports are basically Wi-Fi jungles. You'll see networks that look official, networks that look almost official, and networks that are just a random string of characters. The scam is simple. A fake network uses a name that sounds like the real airport Wi-Fi. You connect, and then you're pushed to a login page that looks normal but is really collecting your info or forcing you into shady pop-ups. You don't have to be paranoid, you just have to be picky. The safest habit is to only connect through the airport's official instructions, like the signs near the gates, the airport's official website, or the official airport app. If you're not sure, ask a staff member at an information desk, not a random person in a hoodie who totally knows. Another easy move, turn off auto-join for public Wi-Fi on your phone. Auto-join is convenient at home, but in airports, it can connect you to the wrong network without you noticing. Also, avoid doing sensitive stuff, like banking, password changes, or work logins on public Wi-Fi, unless you're using a trusted VPN and you know what you're doing. If you don't use a VPN, just keep it simple. Check flight status, message friends, download entertainment, and save the serious accounts for later. And while we're here, let's talk about charging. People love scary stories about charging station hacks, and the reality is usually less dramatic than the internet makes it sound, but good habits still matter. Use your own charging cable. If you can, plug into a standard wall outlet rather than a random USB port. A small power bank is honestly one of the best travel purchases because it makes you less dependent on crowded charging areas and whatever random ports exist at the gate. Also, watch your stuff when you charge. Airports are full of distractions, and the easiest theft is not some spy movie. It's someone grabbing the phone you left on the seat because your cable was too short and you walked away just for a minute. If you need to step away, unplug and take it with you. The airport will still be there when you get back. Number 5, water and snacks loophole. Airport food pricing is basically a stress test for your wallet. Even when it's a familiar chain, the airport location can cost more because of rent, security rules, and captive demand. People can't just walk across the street to a cheaper option mid-connection. The secret is, you don't have to play the game. Security usually allows solid food through, so pack snacks that won't turn into a mess. Protein bars, nuts, sandwiches, crackers, dried fruit. It sounds small, but it saves you from that moment when you're starving and you buy the first thing you see at the worst price. The water trick is even better. Bring an empty reusable bottle and fill it after security. Most airports have water fountains or bottle filling stations now, but they're not always in the obvious spot. Sometimes they're tucked near restrooms or down a quieter corridor. If you can't find one, Ask a cleaner or a gate agent. Those are the people who actually know where everything is. If you're stuck, you can also fill a bottle at a bathroom sink in a pinch, but fountain stations are better when available. Another overlooked option. Some airports have free hot water at cafes if you ask politely, which is great if you travel with instant oatmeal, tea bags, or cup noodles. Not every place will do it, and you shouldn't argue if they say no. But when it works, it feels like a cheat code. Also, look at the timing of your meals. If you're about to board a long flight and your airline includes a meal, you may not need to buy a full airport meal at all, just a snack to hold you over. And if you do buy food, walk away from the busiest center area. Airport pricing can vary even inside the same terminal. The first shop you see after security is often positioned to catch impulse buys. If you walk 5 minutes toward the gates, you sometimes find slightly better options, shorter lines, and more places where you can actually sit without feeling rushed. Number 6. Lounge access you already have. Airport lounges have this mysterious vibe, like they're only for celebrities and people who fly every week. The truth is, a lot of regular travelers can get in and don't realize it. Some credit cards include lounge access or partner memberships. Some airline tickets include it on longer routes or premium economy bundles. Some frequent flyer statuses unlock it, even if you barely remember how you earned that status. The reason this stays secret is simple. Airports make money when you're out in public spaces buying food and shopping. Lounges reduce that spending because they often include snacks, drinks, and Wi-Fi. The move is to check your benefits before you fly, not while you're sprinting between gates. If you have a card that offers lounge access, look up the rules. Which lounges, whether you need to register, guest policies, and time limits. Some lounges are great. Quiet corners, real food, decent coffee, clean bathrooms. Others are basically crowded waiting rooms with nicer chairs. So don't treat it like a luxury fantasy. Treat it like a tool. If you have a long layover, even a meth lounge can be worth it just for a calmer environment and a working outlet. Also, don't forget some airports have non-traditional lounges, pay-per-use quiet rooms, sleep pods, or premium seating zones that are basically mini lounges without the branding. Sometimes those are easier to access and less crowded. One more thing people miss. Lounges often have staff who can help with rebooking when flights are delayed, and sometimes they can do it faster than the main customer service line because they're dealing with fewer people at once. That's not guaranteed, and you still need to be polite and realistic, but it can be a huge stress saver. And if you can't access a lounge, steal the lounge mindset. Find a calm gate area away from the main shopping hub, charge your devices, fill your water, and settle in like you own the place. Being comfortable reduces panic spending. Number 7. The shopping funnel design. Airports are designed like a maze on purpose, and it's not because architects love confusion. It's because extra walking increases the chance you'll spend money. You'll notice it when you exit security, and you're forced to walk through duty-free, perfume walls, and souvenir aisles before you can even see gates. That's not an accident, it's the layout. Another trick is gate timing. Some airports don't post your gate until later, and while that can happen for real operational reasons, it also keeps people in the central shopping zone longer. When you don't have a gate, you wander. When you wander, you buy stuff. The counter move is using your airline app and airport screens intelligently. The moment your flight pops up with a gate, decide if you're going to park yourself near the gate or keep roaming. If you choose to roam, set an alarm for boarding time minus a buffer, because it's easy to lose track when you're eating or browsing. Also, don't assume walking times posted on screens include crowds. 8 minutes to gate B22 can be optimistic when half the terminal is moving at the speed of a rolling suitcase traffic jam. If you've got kids, a tight connection, or you just don't like stress, go to the gate first, confirm it's real, and then leave if you want food or a better seat. That confirm it's real matters, because gates change. They change because of aircraft swaps, staffing, late arrivals, weather, you name it. People who treat the gate as the source of truth usually get fewer surprises. One more layout trick: charging stations, restrooms, and water fountains are often placed just far enough that you walk past tempting shops to reach them. If you're trying not to spend, treat it like a mission. Get your essentials first. Bathroom, water, charging. Then you're less likely to impulse buy out of discomfort. Number 8. Cutoff times that really matter. Most travelers fixate on departure time like it's the one clock that matters. But airports and airlines run on cutoffs, and those cutoffs can be brutal. Bag drop can close well before departure, sometimes earlier than people expect. Boarding doors can close before the departure time on your ticket. Check-in counters can shut down in a way that's not negotiable, even if you're standing there watching your flight still on time. The secret is that airlines and airports need time to load bags, finalize paperwork, and manage the whole domino chain of departures. So the departure time is not your deadline. Your real deadline is earlier. The smart move is checking your airline's specific cutoffs for your route because they can vary by airport and whether it's domestic or international. If you're someone who loves risk, airports will happily punish that hobby. Another thing people miss, security wait time estimates can be misleading. An airport might show 10 minutes, and then suddenly it's 35 because a couple of lanes close or a surge hits. If you're cutting it close, you don't need a motivational speech, you need a plan. Have your boarding pass already loaded. Know which terminal you're in, and don't waste time on the wrong line. Some airports have multiple security checkpoints, and one can be much faster than the other. If you see a massive line and you're not sure, ask staff if there's another checkpoint for your gates. You can also get trapped by the one last thing delay. One last coffee, one last restroom break, one last shop. Those tiny delays add up. A simple rule that keeps you sane is tying your actions to milestones. I can buy food after I'm past security. I can sit down after I've confirmed the gate. I can relax after I've checked the boarding time. It sounds basic, but it stops the airport from pulling you into 1,000 little side quests that end with you running. Number 9. Overbooking and the volunteer game. Airlines sell more seats than exist on the plane sometimes, because statistically, a few people won't show. Most of the time, it works. When it doesn't, you get the classic announcement, "We're looking for volunteers." Here's the secret they don't always spell out. If you volunteer smart, you can turn a bad situation into a decent one. If you volunteer emotionally, because you feel bad or pressured, you might accept a weak offer. The key is asking clear questions before you say yes. What exactly is the compensation? Is it cash, a gift card, or travel credit? Are there restrictions or expiration dates? Will the airline cover meals or a hotel if the new flight is tomorrow? Is your seat confirmed on the next flight, or are you standby again? Also, ask about protecting your original fare features. If you paid for a seat selection or checked bags, clarify what carries over. If you're traveling for something time-sensitive, work, a wedding, a connection, don't volunteer unless the alternative plan actually fits your life. No amount of credit helps if you miss what you traveled for. If you do have flexibility, waiting a little can increase the offer, because airlines get more desperate as departure approaches. You don't need to play hardball like a movie character. Just don't be the first person to jump up. Another thing, if you're offered travel credit, remember, it's only valuable if you will actually use it. A smaller cash option can be better than a bigger credit option you forget about. And if you're not volunteering and you want to avoid getting bumped involuntarily, simple behaviors help. Check in early, arrive at the gate on time, and don't be the last person strolling up during final boarding. Airlines often have rules about who gets bumped, and while it's not always fair, being checked in and present reduces your risk. It's not a guarantee, but it shifts the odds. Number 10. Tight connections are sold on purpose. Airlines will sell you a connection that looks possible on paper, because possible is not the same as comfortable. A 40-minute connection might be legal according to the minimum connection time, but that minimum assumes everything goes right. Your first flight lands on time, you get a gate quickly, you're seated near the front, your next gate is nearby, and there's no security recheck or train transfer. Real life loves ruining that plan. The secret is that airports are not flat. You might have to change terminals, take a shuttle, go up and down levels, or walk what feels like a mile past retail corridors. If you're booking flights, give yourself breathing room unless you truly don't care about missing a flight. For international connections, be extra cautious because immigration lines can be unpredictable, and sometimes you have to collect and recheck bags even if your ticket looks through-checked. Another thing, if you're traveling with kids, older family members, or anyone who walks slower, the airline's minimum is basically a fantasy. The best habit is looking up the airport map before you travel and checking if your connection involves a terminal change. If it does, build time into your plan. And if you're already stuck with a tight connection, don't waste energy panicking. The practical move is acting fast in a calm way. The moment you land, check your next gate on the app. And if it's changed, follow the new info, not your memory. If you're going to miss it, contact the airline as early as possible. Sometimes you can rebook while you're still walking, instead of waiting until you're standing at a closed door. Also, don't assume running makes everything better. Running through a crowded terminal is a great way to trip, drop your stuff, or arrive sweaty and stressed only to find the gate changed again. Move efficiently, but keep your head. Airports reward calm, not chaos. Number 11. Seat selection bait. One of the quiet airport secrets is how much of your comfort is decided before you ever step in the terminal. Airlines have gotten really good at turning normal stuff, like choosing a seat, into an extra charge. Sometimes you think you're buying a cheap ticket, but the cheap ticket is basically a ticket with rules. No seat choice, last boarding group, limited carry-on, no changes, and maybe you can't even check in at the counter without a fee. The bait is that you only discover the rules when you're already committed. The smarter approach is reading the fare type carefully and comparing the real total. If a basic fare is $40 cheaper, but forces you to pay $45 for a carry-on and $20 for a seat, it wasn't cheaper. Another trick, airlines sometimes block certain seats and release them later. So if the seat map looks terrible today, it might look better at online check-in. That's why some people wait before paying for a seat, because they're hoping for a free, decent option later. It can work, but it's a gamble. If being next to your travel partner matters a lot, pay for it early or choose a fare that includes it. If you're solo and flexible, waiting can be fine. Also, watch out for the upgrade teas in airports and apps. You'll see offers like upgrade to extra legroom for $39, and sometimes that's actually a good deal, especially for long flights. Other times, it's $39 for basically the same seat with a slightly different label. The way to decide is simple. Check what you're really getting. Extra legroom, earlier boarding, free drinks, lounge access, or just a different row number. And don't forget the human side of it. Gate agents and flight attendants have limited power. Being polite can help, but don't expect miracles. The secret isn't that they're hiding upgrades from you. It's that the system is built to make you pay for certainty. Number 12, checked bags get mishandled more than you think. Most people imagine lost luggage as a rare disaster that only happens to unlucky travelers. In reality, mishandled bags often include simple things like your bag missing a connection and arriving a few hours later, or ending up at a different carousel because of a tag issue. The secret is that baggage systems are fast, automated, and sometimes chaotic, especially during tight connections or irregular operations. So your job is to make your bag easy to identify and easy to return. The simplest high-impact move is putting identification inside the bag, not just on the outside tag. Outside tags can rip off. An inside card with your name, email, and phone number helps if the bag opens or gets separated from the tag. Another smart move is taking a quick photo of your bag before you check it, and a photo of the contents if you're carrying anything important. If you ever need to file a claim, describing a black suitcase is basically useless. But black hard-shell suitcase with a green strap and a sticker on the left corner, plus a photo, makes it real. Tracking devices can also help you stay calm. They don't magically teleport your bag to you, but they can confirm whether your bag is still at your origin airport or already in your destination city. That info changes how you talk to customer service because you can be specific without sounding accusatory. Another secret: Fragile stickers don't guarantee gentle handling. They're more like a suggestion. Pack like your bag will be tipped, stacked, and slid because it probably will be. And never put truly valuable items, passport, money, expensive jewelry, essential medication, in checked baggage. That's not being dramatic. It's basic risk management. Checked bags are great for clothes and non-urgent items. Your carry-on is for the stuff you can't replace easily or can't wait for. Number 13. The simplest theft is distraction. When people hear airport theft, they imagine some dramatic heist. Most real theft is boring and quick. It's the moment you're juggling documents, your phone is on top of your suitcase, your backpack is unzipped because you were pulling out a laptop and someone takes advantage of the mess. Security checkpoints are a common place for this because everyone is focused on bins and rules and you're forced to separate your items. The best defense is a routine. Before you step into the screening area, consolidate your small valuables into one place, like a jacket pocket with a zipper or a small pouch inside your carry-on. When you put bins on the belt, keep your eyes on your bins until they go into the scanner. After you get through, don't step aside and start reorganizing while your stuff is still coming out. Move to the end, grab everything first, then step aside. Another simple trick: put a bright sticker or strap on your bins when possible by placing your items inside a distinctive bag. You're not claiming a bin, you're making your stuff easy to spot so nobody accidentally walks off with it. For checked bags, the goal is deterrence and accountability, not perfect security. Basic luggage locks can deter casual snooping, but they won't stop determined theft. The better strategy is keeping valuables out of checked bags, using tamper-evident ties if you like, and checking your bag immediately when it arrives. If you notice something wrong, report it right away, because delays make it harder to prove. And here's a subtle one. Be careful with helpful strangers. Most people are fine, but in airports, anyone who approaches you with a story, touches your luggage, or tries to guide you somewhere you didn't ask to go should trigger your polite no reflex. You can be kind without being vulnerable. A simple, "No thanks, I'm good," and moving towards staffed areas works in most situations. Number 14. Lost and found isn't one magical room. A lot of people assume every airport has one big lost and found office where everything ends up. In reality, lost items can split into multiple systems: the airport's own lost and found, the airline's lost and found, and separate handling for security screening items. That's why people waste days calling the wrong place. The secret is matching the item to where you lost it. If you left something on the plane, seat pocket, overhead bin, that's usually the airline's responsibility first, not the airport's. If you lost it at security, it might be handled by the security operator. If you lost it in the terminal, that's often airport lost and found. And yes, some airports have online forms that work better than phone calls because they connect your report directly to the tracking system. Timing matters too. Items often don't show up instantly because someone has to find them, log them, and transport them to the office. So if you left your headphones at gate C12 and you call 20 minutes later, they might not be recorded yet. Another little secret: some places keep common items like phone chargers, adapters, or even simple toiletries in lost and found bins, and staff may be able to help you out short-term if you're stuck. Not everywhere does this, and it's not something to demand, but it's worth asking politely when your phone is dying and you're stranded. Also, if you're filing a report, details matter. Color, brand, scratches, case type, and any unique marks help. Black AirPods is not a description. That's basically the most common item in the world. Black earbuds in a case with a cracked hinge and a sticker on the back is a real description. And if your item is valuable, don't wait until you're home to report it. Report it at the airport if possible. The sooner it's in the system, the better your odds. Number 15. Duty-free isn't automatically cheaper. Duty-free stores have a reputation like they're a secret bargain world, but the price advantage is inconsistent. Sometimes it's a deal because certain taxes are removed. Sometimes it's the same price as downtown. Sometimes it's worse, especially if the store knows you're shopping in a hurry, and you won't compare. The scam feeling comes from the vibe. Shiny shelves, exclusive travel retail branding, and the idea that you're doing something smart just by shopping there. The smarter move is treating duty-free like any other store. Compare prices. If you have data, check a trusted online price quickly. If you don't, at least sanity check whether the deal makes sense. Also remember allowances. Different countries have different limits for alcohol, tobacco, and other items. If you buy more than you're allowed, you can end up paying duties later that erase the savings. Another little detail, sometimes the best value in duty-free is not the products you expect. Fragrances and cosmetics can be decent deals in some airports, while electronics are often not great. And if you're buying gifts, keep receipts accessible because customs officers can ask questions, and having proof prevents unnecessary drama. One more sneaky thing, duty-free bags and packaging can make you look like you're carrying extra items. If you have a strict carry-on limit, buying a big duty-free bag can push you over. Some airlines allow duty-free in addition to your carry-on, some don't, and enforcement varies. If you're tight on space, consider buying after you land instead of before you board, or buy smaller items that fit in your existing bag. The real secret is that the airport wants you to feel like duty-free is a now or never opportunity. Most of the time, it's not. Number 16. Security rules are strict and also surprisingly flexible. People think security is one size fits all. Same rules, same mood, every time. But a lot depends on the airport, the country, the time of day, and the supervisor running the floor. The secret is that many travelers make security harder than it needs to be because they show up unprepared. The basic routine wins. Pockets empty, liquids organized, laptop ready if required, shoes that are easy to manage, and no mystery items buried in the bottom of your bag. If you're traveling with medications, baby supplies, or medical devices, security usually has procedures for that, but you need to be calm and clear about what you're carrying. Don't hide things. Hiding triggers suspicion. Declaring appropriately makes the process smoother. Food is another area where people get confused. Solid food usually isn't the issue. Messy spreads, soups, and things that behave like liquids are the ones that slow you down. If you've ever had your bag pulled aside for a jar of something, that's why. Another useful secret. Sometimes there are multiple lanes with different eligibility, like families, assistants, premium passengers, or trusted traveler programs. The signage can be subtle, and people just line up in the longest line because it's the first one they see. Look up. Ask staff which line you should use. It's not cutting, it's using the right lane. Also, don't underestimate how much your attitude affects the experience. You don't have to be overly friendly, but being cooperative matters. Security staff deal with rude people all day. A calm, "No problem, what would you like me to do?" makes you the easiest person in their hour, and easy people move faster. If something feels unfair, save your frustration for later. The checkpoint is not the place to win a debate. Your goal is getting through with your stuff and your dignity intact. Number 17. Quiet spaces are hidden in plain sight. Airports love showing you shopping, dining, and flashy screens. They don't always advertise the places where you can actually relax for free because relaxed people spend less. But many airports have quiet zones, meditation rooms, chapels, small museums, library corners, or even observation areas where you can sit without being blasted by announcements. The trick is knowing what to search for. Quiet room, chapel, prayer room, wellness, rest zone, family room, nursing room. Even if you're not religious, those spaces are often some of the calmest spots in the building. Another underused option is moving away from the main corridor. Gates at the far end of a terminal are often quieter, with more available seats and less foot traffic. If you're trying to work, that matters. Noise is the hidden tax of airports. Also, don't ignore upper levels and mezzanines. Some terminals have a second level with fewer people and better seating that most travelers never notice because they just follow the crowd. If you have a longer wait, a quick lap to explore can pay off. And here's a practical comfort secret: temperature zones. Airports can be freezing near certain gates and warm near others, depending on airflow and outside doors. If you're uncomfortable, you don't need to suffer. Walk 5 minutes, and you might find a spot that feels normal. Also, if you're traveling overnight or dealing with a delay, look for designated rest areas or landside hotel connections. Some airports are genuinely sleep-friendly with padded benches and dim lighting in certain areas, while others are bright and loud all night. The key is not assuming the first area you see is the only area. Airports are bigger than they look when you're stressed, and sometimes your best hack is simply choosing a better corner. Number 18. Helpers and unofficial services. Airports attract people who make money by inserting themselves into your journey. Sometimes it's legitimate. Porters, assistant services, official guides. Sometimes it's not. The scam version usually looks like this. Someone approaches you looking professional, offers to help with bags, directions, currency, or even checking in, and then pressures you for money or leads you toward a service with inflated pricing. The defense is simple. If you didn't request help, you don't accept help that involves your luggage, your documents, or your payments. Directions are fine. Which way to gate A? But anything beyond that should come from official staff or clearly marked information counters. Be extra careful with anyone who touches your suitcase without permission. That's a boundary line. Another common trap is unofficial airport parking or meet and greet parking offers near airports. Some are legitimate, some are shady, and the shady ones can lead to surprise fees, unsafe storage, or long waits for your car. If you're booking parking, use the airport's official parking system or a reputable provider with clear terms. Also watch for fast-track offers that appear on random websites. Some airports sell premium security access officially, but the scam is third-party websites that look official and charge extra for something you could buy directly or don't need at all. The golden rule: when money is involved, start from the airport's official site or the airline's official app and work outward, not the other way around. And when you're approached, don't get drawn into a conversation you didn't choose. You don't owe strangers your time. A calm, no thanks, and a steady walk towards staffed areas is the most underrated airport skill. Number 19. Travel protections you already paid for. A lot of travelers buy extra insurance at checkout because the website makes it feel like one click will save them from disaster. Sometimes extra coverage is useful, but here's the secret. You might already have protections through your credit card, your airline ticket type, or your existing travel insurance, and you don't realize it. Some cards include trip delay coverage, baggage delay reimbursement, or rental car coverage if you pay for the trip with the card. The trick is knowing the rules, because these benefits often require you to keep receipts and follow specific claim steps. That's why people think the benefits don't work. They work, but only if you document things. If your flight gets delayed and you're buying food or a hotel, keep itemized receipts. Screenshot delay notifications. Save boarding passes. And if the airline gives you any written confirmation, keep that too. Another overlooked thing is baggage delay coverage. Even if your bag shows up the next day, you might be eligible for reimbursement for essentials like basic toiletries and a change of clothes, depending on your coverage. People skip it because they assume it's not worth the hassle. Sometimes it is worth it, especially if you're traveling for an event and you had to buy essentials. Also, if you're dealing with a delay, ask the airline what they will provide first. Airlines may offer meal vouchers or hotel accommodations depending on the situation and local regulations. Don't assume. Ask politely. Even if they say no, you've gathered information you can use for your next steps. The airport secret here is that calm, organized travelers usually get better outcomes because they ask clear questions and keep proof. It's not about being aggressive. It's about being prepared. And preparation at an airport is basically a superpower. Number 20. The boarding pass overshare. People love posting travel content, and that's fine, but the sneaky risk is what's on your boarding pass. Even if it looks like a harmless photo, it can include your full name, flight details, frequent flyer number, and a barcode that can sometimes be scanned to pull up information depending on the system. The scam angle is simple. Someone sees your post in real time, knows you're not home, knows your route, and might try social engineering, calling customer service, pretending to be you, guessing details, or messing with your booking. You don't need to live in fear. You just need a basic rule. Never post a readable boarding pass barcode or confirmation code. If you want a travel photo, cover the barcode and any codes, blur your last name, and don't post it while you're still traveling. Post after you land or later. Same goes for luggage tags. Those tags can show your name and sometimes routing codes. Also, be cautious when strangers ask to see your boarding pass at the airport. The only people who should need it are official airline staff, security, and sometimes lounge staff. Random people don't need it. Another quiet privacy tip. If you throw away boarding passes or bag tags, don't leave them on top of a trash can where anyone can pick them up. Tear them or keep them until you're home. It sounds extra, but it's easy, and it closes a door that doesn't need to be open. The airport is full of cameras and systems, but your personal info is still your responsibility. The best kind of travel confidence is the quiet kind. The kind where you're comfortable, you're aware, you're not rushing, and you're not handing out little pieces of your identity just because you're tired and someone asked.